guys, and welcome back to Morgs Menu. So today I wanted to share with you another quick and easy dinner recipe. I love this recipe because it kind of combines that gluttonous appetizer with a relatively healthy meal. So that is going to be a jalapeño popper chicken casserole. It's really easy to throw together. You only are going to need a couple of ingredients, so I'll show you how I prepare that along with the two sides that we add along with it. So if you're interested in seeing how all of that turns out, keep watching. So let's start off with the ingredients. So for the jalapeño popper casserole, we need some jalapeños, garlic powder, some plain cream cheese. I use the whipped version because I think it's really easy to spread, but if you have regular cream cheese, just make sure you let it get room temperature. Some shredded cheddar cheese, bacon, chicken breast, and then for our sides, we're gonna do baked potato and a chopped salad. So we need some salt, pepper, and avocado oil for that. First thing you want to do is go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And while that's preheating, you're going to start by cooking your bacon. So I used about 4 slices of this thick cut bacon. You'll want to increase that if you use regular slices. I like to cook bacon directly in the oven. I think it's easier than on a pan and it gets nice and crispy. So to do that, I actually put the pan with bacon on it directly into the oven before it heats up so that it kind of cooks off the fat really nicely. As soon as you start to preheat your oven, throw the bacon in and let it begin cooking. Now while we're waiting for the oven to preheat and letting the bacon cook, we're gonna prep up our pan for our baked potato. So with some cooking spray, we'll just spray that down, and then we're going to take our potato and kind of stab it a couple times with a fork to create little holes in it. This will just help in the cooking process. Then we're gonna take a little avocado oil and kind of drizzle that so that it's covering the outside of the skin. So just either move it around with your hands or a cooking brush, whatever you have is perfectly fine. And then we're also going to cover the outsides with some salt and pepper. You want to be kind of strong-handed with the salt and pepper. It'll really help out with the flavors. And then just repeat those steps on the other side. And once your oven is hot to 400 degrees, go ahead and put the potatoes in the oven with the bacon. And set your timer for about an hour. Now obviously these are pretty big potatoes, so you'll want to decrease that a little bit for a smaller potato, but just kind of check it maybe at 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Then at about 7 to 6 minutes after the oven is preheated, you're going to want to go ahead and flip over your bacon. Now again, these are thick slices, so adjust that accordingly if you use regular cut bacon. Once they're flipped, go ahead and throw them back in the oven for about 5 more minutes. And then when they're to your preferred crunchiness, go ahead and pull it out of the oven and pull them off the pan to set to the side to cool on a cutting board. Now with about 30 to 35 minutes left on your potato timer, go ahead and start prepping the jalapeño popper casserole. So we're gonna start that by just chopping up our bacon so that it gets into nice small crumbles. You could use bacon bits for this if you don't have time to cook the bacon. Then we're going to dice up our jalapeños. So I like a little bit of spicy, but I didn't want this to be too spicy. So I cut off the ends and sliced it in half so that I could then take out most of the seeds. If you wanted to have it really spicy, you can leave the seeds in, but just be careful with doing that. Or you could completely take that out and clean them and make sure all the seeds are gone if you're sensitive to spicy as well. Once you've gotten rid of the seeds, you can go ahead and slice them up and then dice them into small pieces. If you aren't able to get a hold of fresh jalapeños, you could just use either canned diced or canned slices. That would work just fine here. And lastly, we're going to cube up our chicken breast. So basically you just want to make this in little bite-sized pieces. You can skip this step if you prefer to kind of have the toppings over a whole chicken breast, but you're going to want to increase the cooking time from what I do. So I just like to cube it to kind of create it into a nice little casserole. Alright, now that everything is prepped up, we're going to spray a pan with some cooking spray. And then our first layer is going to be our chicken. So basically you're just going to throw it in the pan, spread it out in a nice even layer. Now as you can see, this pan was a little bit too big for the amount of chicken that I had. So what I did is just put a little aluminum foil on the other side so that it will help hold up its shape. Next layer is going to be our cream cheese. And you basically just need about 4 ounces of this, which is typically about half of a cream cheese container, and then just spread it across the top of the chicken. Again, make sure if you have regular cream cheese, you bring it to room temperature, otherwise it's going to be kind of impossible at this step. Now we're going to top it with our garlic powder and salt and pepper. Next up are diced jalapeños. And our chopped up bacon bits, and lastly our shredded cheddar cheese. So here's what it'll look like when it's ready to throw in the oven. So this also cooks at 400 degrees, so you can just put it directly into your oven with your potatoes that are baking and cook it for about 25 minutes. Now, when your potatoes are all done cooking, you want to test them by taking a fork and kind of stabbing them in. If the fork can kind of go in nicely once you get through the skin, they're good to go. So here's the casserole once it's all done. So by itself, it's about 410 calories. Now that's splitting this basically into 2. We didn't end up eating all of that, but just wanted to give you kind of that concept there. Now with adding in the large potato and salad, this was about 750 calories for a meal for us. We didn't finish the potatoes, so it really probably wasn't that for us, but that's what it would be if you ate everything in front of you. Alright guys, and that concludes today's video and recipe. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you like these types of videos. As always, if you have any questions or make any of these recipes, make sure you leave me comments down below and let me know how they turn out. If you're new here and haven't subscribed, make sure you go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I post on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thanks again for watching Morgs Menu, and hope you have a great day. Bye guys.